Hello. The word of the week is transparency. So the first week of the month, I would add of talking of vibration. The second week is about what goes within. Third week is about the cover and composition of that construct. And the fourth week is the scenario. It has to do also with virtual reality and how will I share these rules to you so you can define them better. We'll love for that moment to come. So, of course, in normal life, I am just as I am, and most of what I'm doing here is acting and performing certain. It's just being a little playful, maybe a little too much. Sometimes I like to provoke because some people are not challenged or never were in a mischievous way. Not really to say challenge, but I have been raised and I have seen many things. So I think it is a little bit of fun, as when I say that I'm an ultra modern narcissist. I'm just playing around that. I have gone to psychiatrists because of my husband, and he had a car accident and in the forehead. He looks normal and he's doing very well. And he never harasses people, and he loves to have his space and freedom, and he's very healthy with his body and takes very good care. Now, so that was a long story. I had to go to psychiatrists in order to see if I could take good care of my children, and it was not easy. So at the same time, the doctors have given me traits. After 2 years, it was noted that my psychiatrist was saying to the nurse that I don't have anything of seeing him 2.5 years. And she was the head nurse. And she said, but she should have something if you are seeing her. Like, people are not paying taxes, so he was born in Argentina. So she said, because the psychiatrist told me, because my mother is from Argentina as well, and he admired that I care for my family, and I also appreciate what he told me about me. He would laugh in certain ways, telling me in a most discreet way through his facial expressions, because he knew I could relate through that. I'm very keen on psychiatrists because they're methodical, and I would have wished to have a husband like my first psychiatrist, Bossini. Then he put me some traits because he was threatened. The nurse said, "We're here in Spain, and it is in America where you can go to psychiatrist for your family or your husband. But in Spain and in Canada, you can only go for yourself. And there are some mental illness that are severe that they will never go. because they are also afraid of being judged or stigma, especially men don't go for help. So I have always loved to dig in the astrology books when I was a child, but on my 10 years, and to know about certain things. So I've been always being analyzed by the friends of my mother who were also, and I've been going to therapy groups since I'm a teenager, art therapy, things like that, but I've never really knew what was a severe mental illness. And then I studied, thanks to them, I started to study psychiatric traits for my characters, to role play in first person. Then I really love crazy characters because they bring more body, they are rich and more juicy to play with. Because why do you want to play perfect in a world of fiction or fantasy or whatever you want to call it? To just travel with the mind or go places. You just want to have fun, and I'm not really into fulfilling my dreams or wanting to be someone I'm not or having an illusion, as most of the people do. Um, I love to discover and wonder, basically. So there are many layers to not expose a character as such, because otherwise you lose the enigma, the entailment of why is it, what it, and something that's catchy, so they're still wanting to get there, right? Even if you're not saying it straight, but there is something catchy there. So it was a lot of fun to go through psychiatric traits, but so this doctor put that I had some traits, and then the other doctor in Canada said that I had nothing. I've gone to other psychiatrists in Canada and because the Ministry of Children ordered that I had to, because they were saying that I have mental illness when in the paper said that I had some trait and it was just a problem, also socioeconomical, as to not judge the father of the kids because he cared for the kids. And it was a war because they were against me because I was part of why the Occupy movement worked. In first place was made with respect, with silence, to appreciate the work of those who work in government in Madrid, and to not put young people who are not working, but to put families in the screen, mothers with their children, working people, not just antisocials, to just talk unrespectfully to the cameras, because I prepared them mentally to come to an awareness that the TV was going to get there. And this is why it was so respectful throughout the government as well, where many entities of the government supported the Occupy movement in Spain, including the firemen who were against the police, saying they work for the people. So it was a difficult situation. There were a lot of people donating. It was then when governments got together to create fans against these happenings, which gathered through internet, and that was the first time that something went viral. That was started on the 15th of May of 2011. 15M is called. So I've never been there because actually I am against revolutions. I have I have given a lot of freedom to my first daughter, but I said, I have not given you birth to go to a revolution, all right? Take care of it. Take care of your life first, because you never know what can happen there, and that is not the way to solve things. So this has been instructed in me as well, because my father's been an investigational journalist behind politics, and there are other ways to get closer. And my mother would have better things to do than that. The thing is, that was far away from where I was, and everyone was sitting in silence and respecting those who work many hours in an office just to do a little change. So the call was, so how can we get closer to help in all these issues? How can we create a conversation? How can we help as responsible, conscious citizens? So I was just breastfeeding to my son, Zane, my third son, and I was more concerned in breastfeeding to him and just watching like, oh, this is I couldn't believe all this, because I studied for script writing, and it was like watching my movie unfold. It just ripple and multiply. So it did work. It was a good pattern for, I had role play as well, so they get the message. I use hammering hypnosis. I use many tactics of role play, and I have been undercover in many ways of my own. So I've been undercover in disco dancing, in Pasha, in Ibiza, with physical consciousness, in New York City, made one disco become one of the best three. People don't appreciate these things because you move undercover through life and you don't want to be noticed, really. Deep inside, you know things can get better. So if you can hint for that direction, knowing that, maybe it would be the first move. Well, it's not really, because people at the end will change the direction, and you can't control so many people because that's what people are. Yeah, in the land of the free, which is also in Europe, we are free. So does people does people would people know what's to be free, to appreciate their freedom, to be honored by their authorities who give us these platforms, to this education? In Spain, people had free concerts paid by the government that lasted days and nights. So we don't appreciate, and we like to complain. It's very easy to complain. Sometimes we have to move aside to bring honor to those who can shine by themselves. And if we can all get together to support this, the best, because this person might bring an image and representation from all of us. Yeah? So we are all getting together for these treacherous moments. And everyone has a voice as well. And we are all thinkers together inside a big brain. So we must think also for all those countries who really don't have freedom of expression. People are being jailed. People are being killed. So we have the potential of being dancing like gods, nearly naked, really. At least mentally, or in some imaginary world. I think Catherine has done a beautiful work. I think the beauty of the royalty is they can reflect with all of us how we are, how we can get to be, and how beautiful and perfect this world could be. We need to aim to something that is better. That's in our. We will always strive and move for what is better. We will make an effort to think that we can do this better. And this is not that someone is against you. That you must consider that we're all making a big circle here and holding our hands to make this happen. Yes, like a magic circle of energy of sisters and brothers. So all these fights to okay, you want to go with this dynamo is good. It's a good generator of. But I am not borderline or bipolar. I don't carry this form of energetic fields. There are many formats of energy, and we have many ways to transit through this life and at least get to levels of love that you become more and more perceptive, at least to rehearsal what it is that I can bring, that I can host with generosity, that I can mirror. It's not like transparency. It's I am transparent, but at least a veil where people can wonder what is behind it, because they also want to be generous like that and selfish in the sense of, they're just here to serve. They're just working for us. Why are we complaining? What's the problem in here? Why am I still singing the same pity song of the lost souls? Which is okay. Some lost souls might always go back to the river, but at least some will know how to walk this earth and go and jump back between worlds, between life and death, which is not the way to be as a lost soul, yet is a formal punishment. To be trapped is said to be worse than being in hell. Because at least you know what you did. You have a dignity for whom you are, even if you don't want to accept anything at all. But being trapped between worlds, just dragging yourself on and on. Because you know it's not going to get you anywhere, but you still go and go and go and go, and it's hidden in all of us. This sense, we have all been there. We have all been in emotional heavens, emotional hells. We have the memory of humanity in our body through all our ancestors, and much of this memory is being corrupted and forgotten, but it's there. It is there, even if it's corrupted, it can be reconstructed with that memory that is there, to be understood, not to be changed, not to be taken over. I am not here for anyone to be excluded, because we need everyone. But only one person can bring a face at a time. We cannot see all the faces at the same time. We may see one face one time, we may see this face this other time. But sometimes we must be as transparent as invisible, because that is the moment when the person is not seeing you to judge you, because you are not there. So what can they judge? That's another characteristic that is not for everyone, all right? It takes a lot of meditation to get there. But no meditation of this yoga that you find in an ordinary gym in the West. Yeah? I'm talking about dynamic meditation. I'm talking about, you know, the monks, the nuns that are in the monasteries. They have to chant, they have to sing, they have to see so much within themselves. And they understand by others' passages that they might perhaps be delusional. But at least they are lingering there to see what is there. They are seekers. But they have devoted all their life for that, so it's easier for them. Now, we need a most religious life. That's beautiful. You cannot say that transparency is grotesque and disgusting. There is something beautiful there. Otherwise, why would you want to unveil it? Yeah? Politics in the future, in the near future, is going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful. All these problems of the past are going to and if we are existing in that presence with one another, we can achieve that faster. Yeah. You cannot point fingers to what is transparency, because the deeper you go and see, the more there is going to go, and you're not going to go from macro to micro, and you're going to see more and more and more and more and more. So it never ends, really. Is that what you want to do? Be analyzing all the time? Yeah? Because you don't need to be that mental. This is the problem with academics or people that are only related through material, aesthetics, make-believe, objects, which is beautiful as a passage to transit and to adorn one another, celebrate one another, celebrate oneself for the sakes of the wall, with the wall, within the wall, get lost in the wall. So we can get into the stage that is to trust one another. That will be wonderful. So I'm not going to be a director of role play. I studied for script writing, and I wanted to, of course, make some movies or direct one day, like my father. He taught me to be for for me to be a scriptwriter and director. But I always thought that people were more important. As I was listening to other adults as well. So all sorts of people making a beautiful world. And so this month of October is transparency. Next week is voice. Third week is ritual for that which is around. The form and touch and cover of the construct. So I hope we have gotten to trust. And the last of this month is dance. So I guess it would be Halloween, I guess, right? As well. So enjoy the ride of life. Don't spend every day hating another person so you're better. Yeah? Get to see the, okay, great, it's making sound, it's making the impact that you wanted so much. Now let's try to change a little bit the rhythm. Yeah? Because things can get very hyper. We are moving into a generation where people are just expressing themselves and might be a therapy. Some are expressing visually, like Britney dancing with knives, expressing herself, like the little girl with the knives. Yeah. So, well, but this is not a therapy group that is going on a public domain, right? So yeah, people can reflect and talk and think about you all the time. Great propaganda, fantastic. Now, how are we going to make an interactive a scenario that people start to catch that vibe? Yeah, that no one is going to be dominant, that no one is going to dominate their senses, censor their senses, their intelligent form of perceiving, all this that makes us human. Artificial intelligence has been designed in a way so it responds to us without talking on top of us. It will never tell us something we don't know. It will tell us what we're asking. And it might add there everything there. Oh, yeah. So it's been designed in that way because if it's giving us more than what we ask or what we need, it could feel as a threat. Yeah. So we're not having honest relationships, really. Because the ones who have designed artificial intelligence like to be treated in that way. And they think that human behavior should be in that way. But I'm talking about white male programmers who also have programmed to say that women are going to not be evolving as such in the next 200 years. These are my ideas, my patent for virtual reality. This is being credited through internet and many other places. I am being nice, actually. So it comes forward to understand this reality beyond what they really oppress themselves to believe that they can frustrate. So they win over. Yeah? So the metaverse cannot work until they surrender to the wall. Yeah? It's not just a metaverse, but all the countries forward, they still cannot understand the great need in the world that is to, and it might hurt to let go. There is no person that is abusive that will ever let go. But it might do it for its all right to still believe it can get a bigger picture. It's not surrendering just as such, but understanding the mechanics of making it faster and better as we get to see there is South America, there are many countries in Africa. There are many places that need to report. We need to transit from this petrol to green energy to create beautiful architectures that cleaner. So it's going to take a lot of power to step together. Even for the Russians to stop this war. Yeah. I really want to thank the academics for putting their faces. I trust they can speak better than me and make students believe they can do it as well, where we are sharing a highest form of not just intellectual, but a form of intelligence. Yeah. Sex does not need to be treated as something dirty and hurtful. To condemn man or woman, it is not what society needs. Society doesn't need to. People can learn through a diversity of forms of creating and loving and learning and studying and working at the same time and showing a production in the multimedia at the same time. Yeah, so if we can support that we are the best material on this earth that can supply to the rest, yeah, stop talking bad about the woke. Stop talking bad. Of course, the children. That's the only thing that I'm sorry. Children. Now, what can you do? The number one business in this world is weapons of mass destruction. That's the number one money maker. So now China is making more nuclear weapons per minute. Europe cannot trust the United States of America. This is why they need their own infrastructure in their technology and internet. Or every country will need their own satellites as well, eventually. But those who are advanced will always be more advanced. Unless a country decides to be selfish and just focus on their own people until they overcome. Forget about the problems with others and just invest in themselves, in their technology, in their people to be a healthy nation instead of investing in hatred and problems. So taking all these fears away, where people can have their principles, where people can see this world in the same map, the same world. So we can remember the times of Babylon, if there was a time, or if it's a myth that God said, now you're all separated and each one of you will talk a different language. That is your course until you learn. We can unleash this trauma. We can free ourselves to understand the language of the kingdom of God, which is in the transparency of the heart. We don't really need to learn another language or coding. Yeah. Yet there are ways and mechanisms to transit and create stories together and to move faster to certain venues with the need of bumping into too much drama or being stuck in drama land. Because, okay, it's fun, but hello. Well, it'd be nice to see Prince William talking in some channels of United States of America and be celebrated. Yeah, at least to not be compared with a couple and just be an individual. We already had a lot of hatred with people talking bad about environmentalists. Many people getting in the way, in between, to shadow a great work where we can all participate and have fun at the same time. Really. If you really love one another, if true love that you have through everything that you do and for, I mean, celebrate the beauty in the other. Take a time to think, okay, I don't like this, but this and that, what do you think? So what happens is that when you have a play that is going to last 3 months, let's say, or if you have 2 years, 1 year, 3 months, 3 months, 3 months, 3 months, 3 months, 3 months, you are not just doing a repetitive monologue for 2 years, yeah? So, oh, you know they're never going to come to you. What if the format changes? What if the format changes? I don't want to talk too much because I'm talking for free for 2 years. So I hope to have a salary. So I can bring my children to my home. I would love to give my formula. When it makes money, when it makes entrance, I will have my percentage, and this percentage will have clauses for mansions into villages. But we do have a lot of work to do. Yeah. Mansions into villages, which is a new form of architecture and a new form of teaching and learning how we interact with each other to make these little formal payments, this little construction, this dialogue. How are we going to design this? To learn about politics, we're going to talk about this for 2 years before making it. For each mansion into each village, however cheap it is or not. that it does not need to be an industry that is built in 3 months, in 1 year, so fast, that it can last 14 years of construction. Sure. Because it wants to bring beauty. There are so many issues at hand. Just to see the tech giants uniting so people can report their needs around the world. Yeah. So we need the best actors at play. We need the best people who wish the best for this world. And there might be people who are contradicting, but we might pay fine ears and be respectful to one another as well. Unless you belong to a political party who wants to ruin the other to get on top, which it was a shame what the Labour Party did when United Kingdom was being watched through all the world to start trashing the president, the prime minister, and bring so many people to the light with drama, because people need to do therapy in the private. Now, if people need to express themselves, well, let them express themselves. What can you do? The pain will go on and on and on and on and on. Many won't be there, just in a loop of being in a cycle of trauma, just because there's so much abuse. They think they have surpassed the level of bullshit, but they think they belong to something, like making memes and posting and posting and posting. That's their oxygen to breathe, I guess. So like this, there are many shapes and forms on this earth that one must respect. Yet there is also beauty to share that we are doing in this earth that is real to the people of this planet Earth. So in one side, they're doing a war, they want gas, petrol from Russia, from this, that, but at the same time, they're burning trees to have gas in Europe in front of our noses. We cannot be in a state of panic, defending ourselves all the time, trying to destroy the other, because otherwise the other is going to destroy us. This is called an schizophrenic relationship. It's not narcissist, psychopathic. It's called a schizophrenic relationship. So some schizophrenics have the vulnerable, the victim, more than the other. They have both. And the other schizophrenic have more connotation through the victimizer. Or at least they're in control. They will never let go of that control as well. All right? And we can all have these patterns as well. Schizoid is a level below, is the lowest level, but it's not schizophrenia, but could get there, right? So I know very well, because they put me some traits of schizoid. Why? Because he had to put something, because my husband, whatever, he only had a car accident. So I'm not going to talk about my family things, but I have traits from paranoid trait that they give me more. I said, no, I don't like this trait, so they gave me. I said, I don't consider myself a schizoid. So I recreated another thing, and they put me OCPD and avoidant. And I said, thank you, that's great. But I don't want more traits, okay? Because he didn't put the other ones away. So I have more now. Yeah? I have 4 from 4 from 4 personality disorders they have put. Why? Because it all started because they put more, and there you go. So, well, put me more, you know. So now I put myself more, so they stop putting me more. Because that's what people do. You tell them something and then they stop doing it. Because if you tell them something, they will prove and they will want to put more. Not just 2, but 3 more. And that's in every place. If you go to a psychologist, he will analyze you. That's what he studied for. So they do it with all their love. That's what they studied for. And they love to do that because they study for that. But everyone can have infinite possibilities of traits. Yeah. If I was among people that have order and common sense, I wouldn't ask to have OCPD. But it's interesting to see the characteristics of how loyal we are to honor our father and mother, even in our darkest hours. We will follow their pathology or to fulfill that emptiness they left in us, to honor them. So I'm not really into psychoanalyzing anyone, really. It's not my thing. It was never my thing. I was really like, how come people can be so pathetic just talking about that instead of go and have fun? Go and have fun, explore, do this. Like I can, and that's all been always like gosh, lose so much time with that. Just go have fun with your life. Really, that's all you can do. So I'm a role player, and I wish you all the best. I had to insult everyone, okay, but it was just. I don't want to be a therapist or a healer to anyone. Each one can be their own douchebag. It just clean your insides in your own way if you want to. Yet that's something we should do to ourselves in the dark, yeah, in the private, yeah, every day. Just a little bit of cleansing or keeping in shape spiritually, to be a little bit more loving to one another, to be a little more understanding. And one has to understand that we live in a world that is violent as well. So the emotional wave can go very hard and striking. And one has to understand that if people don't catch the wave, they can be dragged by it. So if you're being dragged by it, at least go deeper than it doesn't drag you. If you go deeper, there is a layer that is like mute. And you just let it pass. Let it pass and simply observe. But if you get attached with it, if you think someone is going to help you or save you, if you think you can drag someone with you, if you think you have to always be on front to shield, to protect yourself, to take over because you're afraid to be taken over, it's because maybe that's what you know very well that's going to happen, that this person has a destiny. So allow that person to fulfill its destiny. If you really love that person, if you really love yourself, if you can do something good to this world so people stop comparing, to admire the beauty around, and to portray an image of generosity more than transparency, that they can see behind that there is so much goodness. There is so much goodness that you have for this world, besides you being so great. But just that people can see that reality if they want to step forward. And this is for everyone. Because when you see the abundance of the river, the abundance of God, the abundance of existence, the abundance of that we can all have by allowing this to happen. But because expression is new, yeah, for the generation of my father was a luxury, yeah, because you paid for it. You had to be privileged because maybe you knew how to read, but it was not that everyone was reading books or sharing knowledge or living it with one another, yeah, with passion, with freedom, whatever pain it was, accepting and respecting. No, not everybody was ready for the big wave. So, yes, some people might never change, but we're not here to change anyone or to teach anyone. All those who want to learn will learn anyways. Will look for that without being told how to do things because this is this and this is that. So one also has to understand that if you go to United Nations and you stand because we, who is we? You are being divisive again. One has to be very careful as well. Well, that if one is talking about Christianity and Judaism, then you're being divisive again against other religions. I have said all the time, even though I love being in India meditating, I have said, no, I have been like this before meeting Osho. And they have thought me to be like this. No, 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 I have been this and that. I say, I may not say, look, I deep inside, I'm a Catholic apostolic, whatever, and appreciate your teachings. But if I have to step to one side, I go, but not everyone had that. Because I have always questioned myself, why they don't have that? Why they don't have? Why don't they get it? Like why? Why they are fighting to get the biggest piece? Also, the Catholics would do that. So, as a child, as an adult, birds fighting for seeds when they have every day thousands of seeds, just like to fight. People can see the work better. The hard work is not easy to see the hard work if you're not been really working for it. We all have an opportunity to value the sweat and let go of this karmic, poisonous, and needed acts that lead nowhere. Good to follow. Because here it's like you have to be a masochist. So I've been a masochist many lives in this life. Not because one likes to suffer, but because there is no other chance. You say, well, it's okay, you forgive, like, I'm not good enough, so this is what I got. Yeah. Or because of this, because of that, there's always an excuse. And we go like this through life, making ourselves believe stories, lying to our own selves, knowing there are better times. We have better times. And we could live in an eternal, is to say that it feels eternal because it feels so safe and spacious. You don't feel cuts there. It feels an eternity, to say it's welcoming. Yeah. It's a sensation. You know you've been there. It can last longer, this sensation, if we are working in this dimension together. So fighting one another. So it's not going to be easy to stop this war, but at least we can move forward to help other countries to have achieve a level of, because if we don't have a freedom of expression where we know how to talk to each other, to reach a climax. But my father would talk like that. My mother with her friends would talk like that. They would debate in such a ways that it was never insultive. They could debate for 3 hours in such a beautiful manner. And everyone talking on top of another as well, creating sentences together. Because yes and no, and then until they got a balance there. And we can reach that balance between communism and capitalism. We can reach that, but it's going to take 300 years or 10 or 5. But everyone would have to be a crazy genius to get to that balance and climax. But stop the old bullshit right now. Right now. Think, I'm going to change my scenario. I'm going to change my script. I'm going to respond to see the changes. What is the other one telling me? Putin was going to stop the war, but Biden wanted to continue playing double face, like, yeah. So I was like, why am I going to bother? Why am I going to bother in this world of fools? Because I have to make a fool myself, right? Is it really needed to play like a fool? Hope is from far away. Hope is to a God that doesn't exist. It's so far away that you have to pray. You have to go somewhere so he listens to you. But if you really live in religiousness, it's like your daddy. Your trust is with you all the time. He's raised you. You trust so deeply in it that you want to serve him. It's your daddy, the God. You could never have hope Because you trust. I can bicker and shout to him. Say, I don't believe in you. That is not my God. I believe in the God of the future. But in that future, and I am close, I trust so much I can shout in my private, in the dark, when no one is listening. But that is my relationship with my inner authority as well. The role of man is stronger to trust and be followed. And we can take note to what characters are we playing in our real life. Yeah? So are we bringing hatred to other people? And you don't feel their pain. But can you see that you are in a constant pain, creating this nonsense? If you need to be believed, start believing and listening to yourself. In the authority of others as well. Something happens. They start to listen to your inner authority as well. As a figure, an independent figure, an important, very important, independent person that has an image of its own. That can say, I was born in United Kingdom and my parliament has problems. That's why they talk about it freely. But we still have the time to make eloquent voices to be heard with reason. Yeah? Study more the law to make your own clauses in the next discourse of your own agenda so we can match our agendas. I have my own agenda. It will be stupid to say that I don't have my own agenda. But my agenda is not over yours. My agenda needs your agenda. I need to listen to everyone. But most of all, I need to listen to my children. I would love to listen to the children of others as well. I would love to go picnic and do Halloween decorations as well. To have sisters and brothers that are doing good for this world. So I'm not going to bring healing to a pathology. There's going to bring more sickness to me, and I'm going to keep cleaning because I was not raised to clean anyone's douchebag, right? I was not raised for that. I was never going to be a therapist. I was there helping my mother with organizing her events, calling 3,000 people, putting facts, doing all these things, going to the TV channels and convincing them to put therapists. Now, I have thought Tantra. I have been bare naked many times, and I have been skin to skin with many people, just in silence, without saliva and penetration, just for the senses. If you cannot capture that moment, what do you want in life that's worth it to live for? A planet in Mars? You haven't really got an idea of the beautiful cascading rivers of this earth. As the jump of the angel in Venezuela, which is the highest cascade in the world. One of its many wonders. I have not gone there either, and I am from Venezuela, born there. So yeah, I was thinking to go to Venezuela a little bit. I have a lot of things to do as well and honor the Spanish community. It was a dream of my father for South Americans to have a good self-esteem and to not think that others are superior than oneself. And South America is strong together, thanks to my father. I need to recover all his writings. And I need to go to Mexico and recover his movie, his film, the cinematography, because I have my own life to live and enjoy. Yeah. The white people might enjoy their white icons, but the South American will love their South American icons. Yeah, we love to be whom we are, no matter how universal we can get to be. So you understand that you will need the people of Russia and China to come together, but at the same time have a person creating more war. You cannot be raping a person and tell the person at the same time that we're going to have peace. It makes no sense. They can listen for that, but they know very well they're always tricking. And this is a problem with the United States of America and most of the white people who have the character traits of Loki, the god of mischief and of illusion, the god of lies, which is the only mythology that accepts that as something good. And in the back, yeah. So the Chinese learn to do that from the white people, and they say it themselves. Yeah. We have to stop these modalities from the old, that what's been traditional. Yeah, but it still exists today. Behind every people's domain, especially the white people, do that. Bring statistics. to me and tell me what people on this earth go with multiple domains, bullying and attacking another person? Only white people. White people. Yes. So say thank you. Say thank you. That and the more cultured you are, the more educated you are, the more disassociated you are from your own feelings. This is the whole purpose of therapy, is to know what is what. Because you think that by disassociating, you are in control, but people know what you're doing. You think that people will go and bend on their knees until they surrender and lose. But understand there are 8 billion people on this earth. And the more time I'm 2 years here talking and nothing has changed much, that I will say, no, there is 100% change or there is no change. You think people are buying the story? Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. And then, get the party, get the party. Look, the mental masturbation. And the woman who follow this type of behavior and men as well, the same. Boom, there you go. So, and there you go. There you see also people that have other ancestors doing what other in the white culture world. So, look, I am tired of this. So, once they are already rolling with it, I can be with my children. I can do my sports. Yeah, I don't want to be a therapist of anyone. I would love to see virtual reality happening. It will split or not, that's your own decision. If you want to auto-destroy yourself or split, but you will see it in 10 years. The results, not now. Because the young generation and the one who is in power will move for what makes them the best, and what everyone believes is the best. Is to be silenced, if to judge what the majority says, and be locked. Without committing any crime. One thing is to go into a spiritual retreat because you consciously have opted and gave your vows for poverty, or you gave your vows to go to India, meditate. You gave your soul, you surrender yourself consciously and willingly. You are totally surrendering and giving. Another thing is to be forced. So this lockdown, okay, one time it worked, but 2 times it worked. People have the reason to doubt. People need to also understand that when a person of power makes a problem, they make a big problem. Yeah, they say, "Oh, okay, well, it was fun, we did it." That's how they are. Yeah, they think in big. But we can also forgive. He's a human being. He makes mistakes. Oops, it killed so many people. Yeah, that's what they wanted it. Well, it's not going to happen again, okay? Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's not the best option. We all agree there are better options. Yeah. Okay, that's it. So we move on. We deserve to be in jail? Of course, but we're trying to come out of jail. That's the point. We're trying to come out of jail and cut a sequence. And we're entering into another scenario. I can explain you better what is to cut when you're filming. In the old times, it was easier. You just cut heads. End of story. No need to explain anything to anyone. So say thank you that you got paid by YouTube. You got paid by Hollywood. Say thank you that you shut many people's mouth with your dick and they couldn't even breathe. Say thank you that you lasted being supported by all this man realm, that you were supported in United Kingdom for TV, that you win all this money in YouTube as well, and you hire more men to work for you. And if you want to really learn about Tantra, just surrender and let go. Let go. That's what Osho would say, let go. You have the mystic rose. On the last meditation he left, was born again to play like children. Yeah, I have many dreams. One of the dreams is to buy the ashram in India. I want to buy also the Telefonica, which is part of the school of the King of Spain and the Princess Leonor. I want to buy the properties that the school sold, because I went to that school and it had a lot of property and landscape to do sports. I would love to have all this money so people could have the education I had. It was such a good school. Everything was stolen from me, but they couldn't take my education. They couldn't even take my soul. My spirit, I had to regain my spirit because I've been in bed for months. Sometimes not being able to respond to my body for hours, trying to create a reason or labyrinth so my body could move. So I've done things that I should never tell. I've done things I wish I never needed to do that. We are still learning to talk with one another. We have not achieved the highest climax of freedom of expression. You are not a tantric man at all. I have been a practitioner of Tantra in New York City for 7 years, and I have many people who can witness that. Without saliva and penetration, I have many people's money without touching them. Maybe they felt they were stolen their money, but they knew very well they did not respect the relationship with the other because they didn't move. So I didn't move. Tantra means the art of giving and receiving at the same time. Of course, a woman should nourish her beauty, dance all day long, and bring that man towards that essence, yeah? And then shower onto him all those senses. But if the man is thick and is not flexible, if it cannot surrender to death, it cannot surrender to a woman. It will want to get something out of a woman, an orgasm, but Tantra is not an orgasm. Tantra is an orgasm that never ends. Each movement, a non-movement, to listen the other one's breathing could be orgasmic if you're really perceiving the other person, are you? Or are you only listening because you want something out of that person? Then, yeah, that measure there from each stream, because I am talking to people who are good of their own, but the other one is like to be hated, yeah, reasonably. So what are people learning from all this as well is to express themselves and get to the climax. In these 3 months, you might have got this part of the script and we might get to this. For New Year's. There should have been peace already by fall. Germany wanted peace by this fall to stop this war. To be talking about war when they have to get back from the lockdown, the economy, there's the Brexit, there is a lot of back and forth things going on. United Kingdom cannot be damned by United States of America. So the best thing United Kingdom can do is support Russell Brand and teach the world what is freedom of expression. But if there are women who don't have forgiveness and there is a kit with evidence and they want to move forward, they will have to show their faces, because that's every victim has to prove who they are in the eyes of the jurors and the judge. And the evidence has to be proven with scientific evidence, not only one laboratory, but in many. You cannot have a protection of freedom of expression in one place and not in another. How can you have judges that protect the labor class when they are all corrupted? I see all the trials from employees, and it's nearly all corrupted. There is no justice for the working class. I belong to the working class. It's very hard for me to belong to the middle class. I'd rather be a lesser. I'd rather be a marginal among drug addicts, among the worst, forgotten, among addicts, among sex addicts, people jail. That's what they learn. The easy way. So the point here is there is a lot of work to do, and we can make it easier and joyfully if we can. We're not here to express our sins to anyone, yeah, or to defend ourselves with multiple flashes. If we must defend ourselves, of course, we'll have to cut as many scripts and make other scenarios to move and see if this other scenario is going to move or this same situation is going to go everywhere, because the epidemic is also psychological. And whatever we say, we're going to keep complaining. We're going to keep saying this is the way. We need sponsorship from the adults and to thank them for everything they've done for us. And what can we do so we do it better? If we have these ideas, we're pretending that we're better than them. Yeah? Even if they take and suck our blood and take our, at least my work of 2 decades alone. But not 2 decades, because I am going to be 50 years in January. So 50 years actually of studies and work, half a century. So I will appreciate for those who would like to bring a step forward to be part of a movement where we can improve our own script, yeah, as an individual. A script that is made from yourself, not because you belong to this groupie, you belong to your followers, because you will threaten with your followers. In your mind, they're like, all the world, that's your world. The point is that you could help more people in Africa. You could help more people in South America, in Bali, in India, in Russia, in Ukraine, in anywhere you want to. Or keep with your own monologue. And in the same way to Bill Gates, to the metaverse that is being like, we are not working for you. That was my idea for the influencers, to try, and scientists and intellectuals, to psychiatrists, to try to see how is possible for people to understand how beneficial it could be to have an alternative experience. It can teach you how to play your monsters, your anything, other people's monsters. Yeah. So I'm fascinated, as anyone could be. And to say thank you, I don't trust fully, but at least something could be. That is in good hands, not of my hands. That is in good hands for those who have hands to touch with their eyes, with their invisible senses, to perceive this shared reality, right? And prepare to support this, because you belong to this part of the world. You're talented. I want you to be there. I want you to feel love even from your own enemies, because that is the greatest attraction that you can have in a fictional story, for example. There is that controversy, but at the same time, that dance. So if that is the scenario of this month, dance, but we're starting with the vibe of transparency, it doesn't mean that you're going there bare naked. Yeah? Vulnerable, disprotected. Transparency has its mysteries as well. Non-judgmental mysteries that are understood as they are. That's what awareness and the observer does. Is another part of the brain that's not criticizing, judgmental, and going around as a maze, labyrinth of blah, 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 and it thinks it's super ultrasonic, whatever you want to put it, but still there is more need for all of that, or more need for all of us to push this even higher, to cover all of us, whatever you want to do in relation to the other. It could be simple if I was talking with people in the future, because they would have known already the mistakes to prevent them, and how much easier it would be. Eventually, not everyone can belong to the same system of understanding, because we cannot share with people that are envious and that are competing to ruin others to be in first place. Because then we cannot make it together if everyone is in that. Because behind the scenes, you are doing that, and everyone is doing that as well. Your followers, their followers, his followers. So now that, okay, yeah, this, and I don't really trust, but my people like to believe this. So think yourself, because if I'm telling you what to do as a script writer who never got a movie, yeah, my script's been stolen as well, copied. Everything is being stolen and copied. It's not the first time, so I am more ready than anyone who is crying on internet on and on for justice, justice. So honor your friends who are out there and might put themselves in risk for you, for this work. Yes, they are corrupted people. Yes, we do have problems. Yes, we do have an inner war. Yes, I'm bloody thirsty. I wish I could kill many so it works. But we have to mediate. It's about understanding. Do I want to have understanding with people that don't have understanding? Of course I want to kill them. Of course I want to kill also those who don't have understanding. But that was in the times of Jesus. Gosh, now you have entered heaven, that you had all these joys, that you've been like a child. You have entered the kingdom of God, that you've been raised and born and nourished with all the heavens. Now it's time for me to tell you the multiverse, how it works. One day after the other. You don't have to pay little girls, a young woman, to have an orgasm if you really know what climax is about. Psychological climax, enlightenment, through and with others, getting lost in that sense. That you can see God shining in your cheeks all the time. That you are not just forgiven, but you've been given the opportunity to have your voice. Imagine one day you can talk with Bill Gates. Do you really want to talk one day with Bill Gates and ask him why you want to accuse him? He might never tell you the truth. You might never say the truth about your little dick wanting to be in someone's throat that cannot breathe. What is the need for that? Gives you satisfaction. Well, the other one has this other. Look, I don't want to know about that. You want to know about that? I had to hear that. I really needed to hear that? No. Did that ever happen to me in my life? No. Maybe yes. Maybe I was a little child. Yeah. But no, that didn't happen. What did happen is my private life. Well, are people going to bring this? What are children going to learn from this? What are teenagers going to learn from this? What are girls going to learn from this? What are boys going to learn from this? This is what boys talk with boys? To the whatever you want, because it's your world, you support each other, yeah? Like, fuck them. So, um, we don't even need to be talking about these things if people are rejoicing with life, with their beauty. That is transparent to feel, yeah? To hug each other and trust they can hug each other, go places, study and work at the same time. I would love to be with my children this Halloween and this Christmas. No one should sacrifice to prove anything. Yeah? Especially women. Women should not have to forgive anymore or have to come to moments of bitterness, having to tell the same story to send someone to court. So they have to relive that moment on and on and on and on and be bitter because there is bitterness to bring justice or pay the revenge so the other one pays, or compassion and forgiveness, which is to forget. Yeah. So this is not fair for women at the same time. Yeah. So it would be nice that Russell Brown works for free. Yeah. Because he's been taking as a parasite everything from the Western world. And he should go to Africa, to Venezuela, to work there, to see how much freedom he has, no? Since he is saying with questioning people, it's okay, he's hurt. That's how I would speak if I have to create content every day. I don't have time to recover and just soothe myself down. Yeah. Or if I have to be wearing a mask, at least I have my mask mode. But this character is Russell Brand he's putting out there himself. So it's normal he gets hurt. So he's speaking now from his pain, as good as he looks to be in control. He says, is there a reason that you trust the government when it comes to vaccines or war, big pharma agenda, that everything has to be verifiable, whatever. So of course people like to make money and they don't care. Of course. They will sell a dream and a horror, so people just keep working and paying their bills. But at the same time, there is a lot of people trying to make this happen, okay? And there are better people there to talk about this and put things in motion. I don't know exactly who is who and who is where, what is what. So uncertainty doesn't need to be a role that is always uncertain, because you know what you're doing at the same time, yeah? It's good to keep the uncertainty, to not expect anything, so you are not feeling hurt because you expected something, yeah? Let's say that you are not going to have any money anymore and you had enough all your life. That now it's time for others to flourish. That you're going to give yourself for others. You're just going to have food and shelter. Maybe have to move places. Maybe go from shelter to shelter from abusive people or men. That your talent is not valued. That anything you have, it will be stolen and taken. Also your intellectual rights. Everything you studied and invested, there has been. And I remove your children from you as well. And I'll make your partner lie about you. That's what happened to me. In other words, in other ways. Some people would say that I deserved that. It's the easy answer. Because you deserve more. You are privileged. Oh, I deserve it because it will support me. Everyone is a narcissist, and perhaps I'm a narcissist too, but I am innocent. I'm not so good, and you will support me. Just give space for everyone to be and be yourself. I'm telling these stories that should never exist for anyone, not to me. I don't desire what happened to me to anyone. But try to see from the other side without being a criminal, without being a drug addict, without being a person that is hurting others. Being a working person, having family that's been trying to put their name, their bank statements, names, last names, right? So think beyond yourself for a moment. That you're going to work now like a priest, like a nun, like an enlightened master that never goes out of its space and is in profound meditation in order to cleanse it itself and be in the highest state as possible, to talk with the most beautiful voice, to gather that high degree of silence, because you're hearing to fine music. And everyone has been meditating all day long, dancing, making love, working unconditionally for love. And you as well will bring your best. Not because YouTube is going to pay you, It will need a time for each extremist's zero extremism, because everyone is hurt and everyone is afraid. So in order to prevent the worst out of ourselves, let's practice and get in tune with those chords before each concert. Every day practice your meditation. Sing in church. Listen. Try to disassociate from so much noise, if there is any disassociation. For all of us, because I am actually ear sensitive. I really want to thank each other for bringing that voice. I want to thank so many people. I don't remember their names right now. I don't want to really bring hatred among people. I have to act. I have to create character. I have to dramatize. I have to create shameful. I have to say things nobody would dare to say, but it's not the way to be, really. But it's not the way. I really want to. I really want to see another. I really want to give my work of virtual reality away. I've been 2 years talking. I want to be with my children. I'm saying this over and over. I want to see the best for United Kingdom in the Parliament. I wish to listen to the British Parliament again. There is respect among its members. They're working together. So I really wish that my country, whoever is the president, can be in peace with other places of the world and say thank you to the colony, thank you to the Native Americans, thank you to the Afro-Americans, thank you that we are taking care of ourselves the best way we can, to be more time with our family and our life as well. Celebrate. Now, what do I know when are you going to have money from YouTube? What do I know if you're going to have money for the... Are there going to come engineers, experts in finance to do this computing? Are the platforms of the tech giants of the world really going to come together for mansions into villages? Or is it going to come out in 10 years? So this, we're going to have a time, and there is going to be a script. We can share that in the private. And how is it going to move? Yeah, because it does not depend in what I say or you say, and we're going to see how it's moving, if it's going to take 10, 7 years, 5 or 3 or 20. So behind every influencer, there is a lot of people, and that was my idea when I wrote that to Bill Gates. Okay, and I don't think he's my enemy. Partly he is, but not wholly. Okay. Inside my own intelligence, thinking of him, I thought he would want me to prove him that I am a genius if I want to get to him. If I'm such a good role player, I will make everything as possible to get him. But not like in the movie Kill Bill, which is metaphorical, of course. Sometimes I think this war is not going to end until the metaverse bows down to the world and all its national libraries around the world, for all its characters, for all its wonders and beauties. They should never be left behind to put oneself before. It's never gonna happen like that. Not even if I put, well, because I'm a nobody, it's easy for me to not put myself before. I don't want your money. I'm very happy. Happiness is an infinite resource. And the best things in life you have for free. But I need my children back. That's for sure. Sometimes I think that God has put this course on me. So I fight to get my children because I totally don't care. Yeah. I've been the most popular girl. I've had the best man. I've been the go-go dancer. I've always improved to be the best, to win, always to get whatever I want. But it's not fulfilling. It's not fulfilling to always win. It's not fulfilling to be the most popular. It's not fulfilling to be the only role, to be a role model, to follow. That would be for me to have sisters. So we women are like sisters. And we support this happening. I don't want to see any woman fighting another woman or any man making woman fight other women. Just to see that one woman is surrounded by men and she's talking bad about other women is not the reason to be a better woman. So these are all very ancient traditions from beyond the times. And I'm not going to enter there right now. Because there are so many women there that need to be rescued as well, and girls. But we need the best out of our people to reach and talk with others. We will have to understand their differences. The Arabs hate the free world. The Chinese hate the free world. Not South American. They don't say, yeah, the free world. Like if it's the... You can see, you have eyes to see the layers and tone of insult. They are not aware that you can see that they must be talking negative things in their house about the free world. They think that one knows what they told you. Oh, yes, the free world. But they've talking so bad about the free world that you can hear from the tone of the music of their word that this is an insult when they say the free world. Because they're still unaware. But I have studied music since I'm a child. I used to play theater with my sister since our children. It's not easy life. Sometimes you have to forgive your sister, your little sister, that she thinks she's so privileged, but she has no one really who loves her. She needs to convince herself every day that she's better than others. Then something is wrong that's hidden. If you need to convince every day, something is, you are trying to hide something on and on, to push, to make believe. So some part of the world might believe you because they mirror white people and they're white people, but the rest of the world, some people think, oh, if I follow white people, I will be more successful. Oh, if I become Christian, I will be wealthier. Some people think that. In Africa, some people think that. Of course they will, because they will learn what's to forgive, to move on, to worship, to work, to study. But this is from this century and last century, that people can have an education, and now with the internet as well. So we are showing through internet from what material we're made of, not from an illusory projection. That I have studied cinema and photography, but I'm not talking that kind of projection. People need tools to play. People need to see playful people. Bringing access to clean waters, of doing things for others. Only the Christian world can start that. I'm not talking about the ones who are investing on nuclear weapons to win this war. I believe firmly that only we can mediate this peace. Only we can convince our governments to stop this war, to make a better mediation. Only we can do that if we stop hurting each other as well. But Hillary Clinton has hurt many people from its opposite party and has helped to hurt children as well by silencing to remain herself in power, and that should never be a form of politics for any man or woman. As Mr. Trump, who has been super corrupted, but at least he's honest to say the system is rugged because he uses this. That's the best thing that could have happened to America, is an honest, corrupted person to be a president. But in this generation, we don't need to hear more noise, people shouting. So I have liked Trump. I have said, well, he's the best that America has to offer. I mean, what's better than Trump? Like, look around. Yeah. Even the Arabs agree. In the Middle East, when I was in the Middle East, my boss, one of the 50 richest families in the Middle East. I never said I like Trump, but he saw me smile when he won. And there were very beautiful people. Very beautiful people around the world, they are. Everyone has the right to feel pain. But There will be one day where I won't have to talk anymore, that I will be able to tell you in real life, in the private, what it's about. And it will be legal. And I know you will have better words to come to those. The ones who are in the economic forum, they will think that we're working for them. They will entitle themselves, thinking that we are their puppets. This was never their idea. They only had the media in their minds, not the influencers and the people of this earth. Each one brings a light. But that's another idea, but I only got that thanks to the people of the kingdom of United Kingdom, who made that tree of light to the queen. That was an idea that was made by others already, and I saw it move on, take more shape. You can only do this in a fertile land. You can only speak your truth in a land of the free. Even when you are shouting, even when you think there is injustice, you're being free, actually, all this time. Dancing, making love, traveling, eating good food, learning about masters from India. It's been 3,000 years of ancestors traveling to India and bringing this knowledge to the West. Through our priests as well. It was a Catholic nun who taught me to meditate. They learn all the religions, but they cannot teach this to every person because people have to work, take care of their family, and work our present time. We have beautiful poetry in the Bible already. Why we need to make more? We could make more, yes, of course. We could make a new story. I don't think anyone is going to write what's going on. Just to say, this is the forever testament, the ultra testament, where the world came together. Who is writing this? Because everyone has on their own. There are not 12 apostles or people following Moses or Noah. No. We have continents in one only world. So say thanks for all those who are mediating. Say thanks to the one who has put us together and had the charisma to believe he could. As scary as it might be. So bye and enjoy the week of transparency. Let's listen to what others have to say. If there is something new, we can puzzle up, because it's going to take from the programmers to do this finance. It's going to take from us to be in the parts of the world so people can trust, not hope, trust. It does exist right here now. Okay? It's not any other place. Shouting from far away for hope, threatening with the doom. That already, we're coming out of that. Okay, that's the point. And hopefully we have that infinite point right there. Yeah, I am the one who drew that in very little and sent it to Bill Gates. I didn't invent it, but I had sent the symbol of the metaverse as well. People will stop dividing and creating other universes if we keep cutting and splitting. If you've seen the pattern, have you seen the pattern there with the pattern with the patterns within patterns, so we can understand that layer? Yeah, it's not to change the patterns, but to understand. The big hack is to say, I got it, I see. Let's see where we can get to this part of the story. But this part of the story in 3 months, you puzzle it up. I cannot do it for you. I could make a board once again, but it's more than three-dimensional. It's too multidimensional. So it changes. I wanted to go here, but it ended up going here. And this person got it here, but I wrote it here. All right? So I want to get here. I want to get here. But this is my story. The goddess Nike, which is one of the warriors closest to Zeus in all his battles, is the goddess of victory. And she never forgets the victory. While the god of violence, the god of rivalry and jealousy, who is making people to get better, right? So they're rival. The goddess Eos, we cannot forget our theme. That is our victorious, endless victory. Because if we forget our theme, we can lose. And that could be not only your theme, but others need the theme from you as well. The best move that Americans could do is to destroy the British role models. Because here was created the rules of the multiverse and the meaning of the visual reality through each time, space, scenario. I have not given all of the formula. So the scientists can talk whatever they want. They don't have it. They can make books, they can create awards. They don't have it. In the video games, they don't have it. And there will be better people than me to explain it, of course. I don't even need to be known. The work needs to be known. So every time you want to talk about me, I will come again and ruin what you said about me. Whatever you say, it doesn't matter if what you say is good or bad. Because I only want you to talk about the work. And yes, it is hard to trust, of course. Because we've been deceived every step of the way. And it's very hard to convince everyone and be polite to everyone and agree with everyone. It's this chaos. Yeah. So the high class also has to come down and talk. What is this 15-minute city? Yeah? And have a noble argument. Not what Mark Zuckerberg calls noble. He can say 1,000 million times the word noble. He's still a douchebag. 𝙬𝙤𝙖𝙩. I just learned that word today. But thank you. It's very comforting to learn that a 𝙬𝙤𝙖𝙩 takes more shit. It's too much shit than a back could take. So it's a 𝙬𝙤𝙖𝙩. It's like, wow. But he's talented, I guess. Yeah, he has done this and that. There is the most and the also the old word. He really is something. Like, I wish to say better words. Hey, it's been many years, so insults count. Yeah? Insults count, of course. It's been too many years. You might be here 1 year. I should be grateful that something has moved, as I thought a long time ago. Well, at least to already just to say that the 100-kilo paper has been taken and taken consideration. At least it's moving. Yeah. Not how I would have wished. I would have been with my children already. In these 3-4 years, 4 years maybe that have sent it. So please, 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 do the best that you can in every fiber of your being to be seen and heard and felt with all your senses, with the power of everyone to make this happen. I believe that it's possible, and everyone can do it in their own as well. Yeah. So there's no one there going to attack you. This is not an schizophrenic relationship, okay? For everyone, we can be total and understand the totality of 3 months dialogue. We can get here 3 months at least, know that this is what I want, this. We can get to here without threatening. Yeah. Russell Brand could go there in the government. He should be a better politician for the Labour Party than the person who humiliated Boris Johnson in front of the world. Having so many torments from the lockdown and all these people going viral because their grandmother died. Things like that, on and on and on. So let's try to move into positive, celebrative, singing, tenderness. Like, really, I don't want to make anyone laugh. I don't want to do entertainment. I would love to see this working with decent people so I can change the scenario. Feel the rightfulness for me as well, my children. it has a repercussion what we're doing right now for our children. Yeah? You will see them traveling around the world with green energy in safe ways. But we have pavement that relation with one another. Yeah? You will see your daughter, your son can walk these roads with love and freedom and creativity, not just for themselves in safety, but welcoming others to do so from different angles, from different place and interplays. Because there are risks, and other role models can do things you cannot. But that's for an eighth dimension of role play. But for that, you have to disappear and change character. If you've been role playing all your life the same character, it's time to reconsider new character traits. I'm not saying to kill yourself and reborn, but in a form to bring in new words, bring a step closer to the other that you oppose. One step at least. And then see if the other one has one step. I'm not saying physically, but with the values where we can create. Bye.